Hello, I'm Terry David Mulligan, and this is the Mulligan Stew Podcast. This one's different. This one is. Because we talk music and we talk film and books and whatever. This is about wine. It's consumed by wine. Because we are always in British Columbia, in the Okanagan Valley specifically, comparing our wines to wines across the world to see how they're doing. That's the only way you can tell if you're actually making progress and making better and better wines. You put them up against the best, and if you're lucky, if you're good, if you have art and craft working for you, all of a sudden you start to match their stride and their finish and their attraction. And so this 2024 Okanagan Wine Festival is now on, and it's a big deal simply because there's been so many hurdles to overcome by the farmers making BC wines. A deep freeze that went through twice in two successive winters did winter kill. We're seeing now that there is some growth. They're starting to see some green where there had been none, where there should be buds, where there should be vineyards growing. So maybe they ducked one. I'm sure there's a lot of damage. Maybe a third of the vineyards are gone. There'll certainly be replants. Anyway, to kick off the 2024 Okanagan Wine Festival, the Spring Wine Festival, the general manager, Kimberly Hundertmark, and staff and team put together the BC Top 50 Wines of the Year and the Wine of the Year. And they asked all the wineries to consider sending their very best wines, just the best. There will only be one Winery of the Year, and the other 49 will be in alphabetical order. So there's no medals, there's no ranking. If you make the top 50, you make the top 50. It's pretty good. I think they said there were 350 or 400 wines being tasted. So a good cross-section. I got lucky here because I have two friends on the judging panel. Rhys Pender, Master of Wine, who is a teacher, global teacher, and the best, DJ Kearney, who has taught hundreds and hundreds of sommeliers, who's judged all over the world. It's a global wine authority. DJ, of course, is the highly respected wine director of the Terminal City Club in Vancouver. And they hold some high standards, and it's expected of them. And so we talk about the surprises. We talk about Gamay a lot, actually. It's great. And the regions that got more awards, just kind of what the judging turned out to be and what the BC wine landscape looks like. And here's this conversation. It's just the three of us talking wine. If it's okay with you, that's what we're going to do right now. If you go to the Mulligan Stew website and look up the Mulligan Stew podcast, the top 50 wines are listed in the order that we got them, alphabetically, with the winner at the very top. Oh, and by the way, you can see the video version of this interview with the looks we gave each other on the Terry David Mulligan YouTube channel. Welcome back, Tasting Room Radio. Terry David Mulligan, Rhys Pender, and the one and only DJ Kearney. Rhys, of course, is at Little Farm. Way to go, Little Farm. By the way, your vineyards, how are they doing?
How are they doing? Well, it's interesting. They, like everyone, there's a lot of winter damage, a lot of bud damage, but every week I go out there and look again, and there's more growth, and most vines are reproducing a new trunk. Some even have some decent shoots on top, particularly the Riesling. So, I'm hoping that there will be kind of enough to retrain a new trunk and be kind of back in business with a decent crop, half crop or more next year. So
farming, wonderful, isn't it? Farming. What a career.
No.
Okay, now here's what I wanted to talk about specifics, guys. Some names that I don't normally see in these competitions for one reason or another. Sometimes some wineries just don't want to enter, or somebody makes a decision. I'm seeing for the first time on a list of Black Swift Vineyards and Crown and Thieves, Crown and Thieves Chenin Blanc, and the Black Swift Vineyards Hans Estate Malbec, which I have had. We'll love that one. Is that surprising to you?
Not Black Swift for me. They have been making some lovely wines. Really a fan of their Syrah. And this Malbec was a showstopper.
Yeah.
It was, I can remember our conversation in the finals, how it had blue fruit, black fruit, red fruit, very complete, so expressive. Yeah, that was a stunner. What did you think of the Crowns and Thorns Is that what you were talking about? Crowns and Thieves?
Yeah,
TDM?
Crown of Thieves, yeah, the Chenin Blanc, yeah. How about the nice wines, the Chief Reserve at the District Wine Village? Small, it's in the District Wine Village in Oliver.
Yeah, there's a few new wineries doing some really good stuff in that district wine village. I think, the quality is good. They've got the right people doing everything, and yeah, making some really, really tasty wines. I've been impressed by a few of the wineries that are based there.
Any winery named for a great metamorphic rock is a good winery and a great name.
The Chief
Nice name. Yeah.
The Chief Reserve.
TDM, can I jump in and talk about the Pinots?
Yeah, go.
Because when we were judging the Pinot Noir flights in the preliminaries, there were just, again, some absolute standout wines. And we ended up with a final flight that just every single wine was worthy and expressive and delicious. And the couple that are the ones that are on this top 50 are all, so different. And what have we got? Naramata, Lake Country, Naramata. Am I missing any there, Rhys? 3 of them. And
Tightrope, yeah.
the Moraine, the Tightrope. I think Joie Farm is in
There's
there.
a Spearhead on there too. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just, some a little lighter, some a little richer, some red fruit, some dark fruit. Our authority with Pinot Noir in especially in the Okanagan is special. They're wines that can just stand up with many global counterparts. It was very impressive.
And I think our colleague Barb Phillip judging came up with the big statement that BC Pinot Noir from the 2022 vintage is the best she's ever seen here. And that comes from,
Wow.
tasting these. And we were also just recently judging at the Decanter World Wine Awards in London as well. And the same thing really kind of showed itself there.
I thought regionally the Naramata bench did well. If you look at Terra Vista, Syrah, Fandango, and El Baldino, three medals.
Yes, and if you look at the Syrah as well, Deep Roots, which has always it's been the best of show in previous.
Yeah, it's always up there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and the one from the Syrah from Terra Vista is so elegant, so streamlined. It's a wonderful site for Syrah, the bench.
Hester Creek, congratulations. The GSM and the Viognier, one that love it. Hillside Winery Bistro, Cab Franc, I love that Cab Franc. And quite surprisingly, this Chef's Whites that they won for hasn't even been announced yet. They announce it in a couple of days. They're going to
there you go.
Launch it. So there's a launch
2023 fresh release. Yeah.
But you have to look at the knowledge base that's at Hillside with Kathy Malone.
Yeah.
There's just such intimacy with the bench in specific and BC in general that those wines are such. They're always there. They're so reliable, so consistent, and I'm so happy to see them shine in the context of what we tasted. No surprise.
Also see some families in here, the Gita family estates, Volcanic Hills, growers.
Yeah. Farming, right, Rhys?
Yeah. Zweigelt, yeah, interesting variety, yeah.
I have Rhys Pender, Master of Wine, Wine Plus owner, and of course one of the founders and farmers at Little Farm in the Similkameen Valley. DJ Kearney, who is the wine director at Terminal City Club, wonderful wine expert, global wine expert. That's what I was after. The same thing with Rhys. They're both, by the way, judges. Now, the number one wine at the top of this list, there's only one. There's only one wine of the year. But tell me about your thoughts on Dirty Laundry Vineyard Cellar Series Gamay.
Yeah, this was just a wine that, the reason it's on top is because it had the highest average score. That's how it works. So every single judge, and we had all 9 judges at the end judging the second round of wine. So first round, we kind of put all the wines through, scored them, and then the top wines kind of came out of that. And so we narrowed that down to 50. Everyone tasted all of those, scored all those wines, and yeah, that came out with the highest average. So it's really nice to see a little fresh, juicy, vibrant Gamay topped the list, and it was just so vibrant and full of blueberry fruit and crunchiness and
rhubarb.
Yeah, very, very drinkable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it just dazzled all of us with its purity. And, looking for sort of varietal characters is just a small part of it. And this nailed lovely cool climate Gamay, but it also had, it had depth, it had dimension, it had dripping with minerals, lovely ripe acidity, ripe fruit. It's just glorious. And it's so nice to see. I mean, very often the showy Syrahs or Pinots or the red blends, or we've had superb Riesling and Chardonnay top the chart, and to have Gamay there is beautiful. I hope it invites people to drink more and more Gamay because it's one of our strengths.
I am a Gamay hound. And I love the, this is their newest vineyard, by the way. It's the Moonless Creek. They've just starting to get fruit off of it. It's the top of Prairie Valley in Summerland. And they did an early pressing to kind of halt the tannins, the tannin extraction. And they got this sort of candied, confectional taste, an amazing, in a huge barrel, 1,000-liter barrel. They aged 18 months.
Tasty stuff, yeah. Yeah, perfect summer wine too. You can stick that in the fridge for 20 minutes and just give it a little chill. And then if it ever warms up here, which we're hoping should be soon, it's that perfect kind of red wine for those hot summer days.
I would encourage people to, get their hands on this Dirty Laundry Gamay, but then to buy 5 other Gamays from the Okanagan and line them up, and you be the judge. Have a look at them all. That's how you learn, and then you see how this grape has just come to life in BC, and it's delicious. It's a great summer one, as Rhys said, but it's also the quality is consistent up and down the valley. Gamay.
More and more plantings happening too of Gamay, right? As people are realizing this is a very good grape here, and it's not some lesser thing like it was sometimes considered back in Burgundy, but actually on its own merits a delicious variety.
The last price point I saw on it was about $30. They only made 100 cases, and and still to this day, it might be a wine club thing. They're going to have to open it up because
they must. They absolutely
they have
must.
To. They have to.
We need to taste this. I think the other thing, and Rhys I want Rhys to amplify this point, is that the aromatic whites showed really well, and not just Riesling, but there was a whole cluster of them. What did you think? Yeah. What were your highlights?
Yeah, I think we had like some good, what was it, Albarino in there, Grüne Veltliner, blends, some... even good old Gewürztraminer. There's the Wild Goose's brand new vintage in there, 2023, just like so intensely aromatic.
And what do we get from Mooncursor, Touriga National?
Of course. Of course. It was just, again, that's always been in the conversation as top wine. I think I'm allowed to say that over the years. But again, these wineries like Wild Goose that have just been around forever.
Exactly.
It's not that we take them for granted. We just know that they've always been consistent to a beautiful point. And that Gewürztraminer just deserves everyone's attention all over again. Give it a try if you haven't had it in the last couple of years.
Especially as a great food pairing wine for me, if you just... anything with a bit of spice to it and a bit of,
fat,
umami or fat, it's the perfect pairing glass.
Rhys Pender, Master of Wine, Wine Plus owner, and of course one of the founders and farmers at Little Farm in the Similkameen Valley. DJ Kearney, who is the wine director at Terminal City Club, wonderful wine expert, global wine expert. That's what I was after. The same thing with Rhys. They're both, by the way, judges. Do you see another Chardonnay? I find Upper Bench Estate Winery and Creamery. Is that the only Chardonnay? Do you see anybody else see one?
No, Stag's Hollow's Renaissance Chardonnay was fabulous as well.
All right.
Yeah.
And I think
very, very elegant Chardonnay, beautiful kind of balance, not over the top. Both of those were, yes, there might be some oak in there, but it's beautifully intertwined with the wine, seamless texture, little reductive popcorn notes I remember in one of them, and just great freshness.
I think
I think to me it really shows our coming of age. There's certain, I would put Merlot in that category and Chardonnay, and you just have seen the lighter touch, the greater restraint and respect for fruit purity and a sense of place. And those two Chardonnays were, they're unbelievably well made and well farmed and delicious to drink.
Just a note, Rhys, just down the road from you, Vanessa Vineyard, their Syrah and their Gold's Legacy. So they got in there as well. So Samokin's in there.
Great site there. One thing I did just pick up on, I don't think a single Pinot Gris made the list, which is interesting.
No.
Our number one planted white grape, but just didn't stand out, I guess.
So what we were told at the beginning of the competition is that actually that was the smallest category entered. And I think that's where we have to remind people that people didn't want to enter their Pinot Gris because they need them for important sales to keep everyone in good order by the time the fruit starts to grow again.
Which brings me back around to your comment, Deej, about BC Wine business is open for business. The Okanagan is open for business. Make your plans. The accommodations are there. Support as you can, as you will. If you can't get there, you can still order. You can still join wine clubs. You can do all of those things. But now is the time. Just this top 50 list will give you an indication of the choices to be had.
Exactly. And the resiliency that we on the edge of the earth have shown. Wineries are having other experiences, from horseback riding at Garnet Valley to, other things that they're creatively coming up with just to keep people engaged and entertained. And also go and ask questions. What happened? What are you doing? It's so instructive and interesting to learn what nature has hurled at our winelands in last year and the year before.
Rhys, last word?
Yeah, no, it's hard to top that. I think, it's the best time to support BC wineries. No one's, selling wine from a vintage that they haven't made yet or anything either, right? So there's lots of 23, 22, 21, 2019s, out there. And that's the wines that are, drinking beautifully now and fresh, and we'll deal with the future when it comes. But come and visit. It's beautiful up here and in the Okanagan and Similkameen and other wine lands of BC. And come and explore, ask questions, and check out all this diversity like you're seeing on this list.
Mm-hmm. All right. And wines have never been better.
We have everything we need. I just want to thank you both for doing this. As always, I am such a lucky human being to be able to call on you when needed, and you step up and you do this, and I can't thank you enough.
We're lucky to be in the hands of the best pro in the world when it comes to interviewing, and people say that around the world about you, TDM.
Thank you.
We'll forget the recording button issue that we experienced.
Exactly.
Listen, I don't know if it's there. I know the audio's there. I've got to check the video. Yeah. Thank you both. Thank you both. Thank you both.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
See you down
there.
Guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.